What's up, suckers?
I used to go watch a band. I say, I could do that. I could do it better. I could do it louder, faster. And that's how I evolved into playing the way I play.
We were kind of the gateway for the next generation of punks, the kids that would eventually define hardcore. I didn't get into hardcore. Hardcore happened because of people like me.
You're listening to Deadair, 2 hours of the best the punk and hardcore scene has to offer. Now let's stop talking and let's get to moshing.
We got the power, you know it's true. We got desire to hold the cowards. Give me the juice. We got the power, you know it's true. Behind the fire, reach higher. Give me the juice. We got the fire, you know, it burns in you. Burning desire, burning the tire. Give me the juice. We got the power, you know it's true. We got desire, kill all the cowards. Feed me the juice. 2, 3, 3.
All right, took a week off, but we're back. This is episode 66 of Deadair. I fuck up the episode numbers every fucking week. I put episode 67, and y'all probably don't even notice because they throttled the posts on most social platforms. So, I mean, you'll probably see a little bit of Twitter, a little bit of Instagram, and like 2% of our Facebook posts. So, even though Facebook has like our most people, whatever, social media rant. So we are in full effect fall. I took a week off for my mother's birthday. Happy birthday to she had a good birthday week. Trying to think of everything and anything that's happened in the last couple weeks since I was last on. I think just work, mom's birthday, and we have been a part of the NWCZ collective. We've been recording here in Tacoma for 2 years now. We did our first launch out of Tacoma in 2017, and since have gained a ton of awesome radio stations such as RadioVegas.rocks. I guess I'll just go down the line. RadioVegas.rocks plays at 10 to midnight Pacific Standard Time out of course, Las Vegas. Then following, we got Renegade Radio, and that is RENAGADE. RenegadeRadio.com. You can catch us at 9 p.m. from wherever they're at in the world. Their crew is all over the place. Following that, on Fridays, we got kind of a simulcast going on. We got on podunkradio.com on the East Coast. We play there at 7 p.m., 7 and 9 Pacific Standard Time. Also on Ripper Radio. You can check us out there from 7 to 9. And they also check out Ripper Radio on Spotify, and you can find all the episodes, and you can easily stream Spotify for the show. And that's absolutely awesome. And hopefully we get our own little Spotify going, but that's a future plan. But in the meantime, if you want on any of your mobile devices, like Spotify, check out, we are podcasted through Ripper Radio. And following that, on Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we play on purerockradio.net. I'm working on consolidating, making sure all these stations get all the love, and Tarantinoing it a little bit from the beginning. NWCZ is where we premiere every Friday night. I mean, not Friday. Every Wednesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. And then you can always catch all the podcasted shows on deadairhardcoreradio.com. Also updated it. We're got a few new reviews. Just disclaimer. I have fun with it. There's so many review sites. We're more of a podcast and a radio station. So I'll listen to a record and just type what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing. It's not, we're definitely no Pitchfork, Brooklyn Vegan, or No Echo name dropping. All good stuff, but we're none of those, and I'll never pretend to be. We do always look for content creators, so if you are in that wheelhouse, you're more than welcome. It's just the personal ones I do. You're not gonna see anything too fancy from me. So if you're interested in being a content creator for deadairhardcoreradio.com, send me an email, deadairnwcz@gmail.com. that's perfect. I like getting these things out of the way. I should be doing that in the beginning and not the end, which I usually do. So, getting into it. Episode 67. This week, we got Bob, Rob, Robert. He was the vocalist of A Life Once Lost. If you never listened to that band, you fucking should. Dope ass band. In my mind, definitely underrated. They did get a lot of attention, played Ozfests, and did all that cool shit. But an awesome band that I think definitely gets overlooked in my mind. Speaking of mind, his new project is called Mind Power, and we're going to be talking to him about it. Talking about all the EPs that he's released this year, and they're doing their fourth and final EP of the year, releasing this Friday if you're listening in the week time, and if you're listening to it past this week, just go listen to it. I had the chance to listen to it, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, and just listen to the interview. Starting this off, we interviewed Dan from Dog Eat Dog and Kings Never Die a couple weeks back, and we played their latest single that they put out on Upstate, titled The Juice, the best one they have so far in my opinion. Gets me excited to hear what they got coming up. They have a EP called Raise a Glass that's going to be coming out pretty soon, so check it the fuck out. So we're gonna move in to the next music. We're gonna get y'all caught up with all the music. We did a lot of talking last episode, so we're gonna get caught up with what the fuck has been coming out these last couple weeks. And we'll do this or that segment because it's been a couple weeks since we did not this or that. We're going to do a Band Brawl segment. It's been that long. We're going to do a Band Brawl segment because it's been a couple weeks since we got y'all caught up on that. So following up, we started, like I said, with Kings Never Die. Followed that up with some new music from Hangman. They got a new full length on Flat Spot Records titled One by One. To be 100% honest, this is a band I have not given my full attention. I've seen a lot of people on the East Coast fall in love with this band, and undeniably a hard and heavy band. I have not given the releases the full attention it deserves, but I listened to the title track One by One, which features a vocalist of Death Threat, Aaron Butkus, and it definitely, I was like, what the fuck? Why? This sounds so familiar, because it didn't have, when I listened to it first, I didn't know who the feature was. And I'm like, this kind of fucking sounds like POD. And I hope that doesn't offend, but it definitely has that early POD kind of feel. And I was like, I think this is Death Threat, but it's interesting. But definitely, I guess that's what it's the last Death Threat, I think, release was like, 6 years ago? I guess it kind of sounded in that vein, just vocally, not like instrumentally or anything POD wise. On a side tangent, I listened to that fucking that song POD and HR Bad Brains for the first time in a long time. That shit's wild. I remember I totally didn't fucking get it when I listened to it, like back when I was in grade school, but that shit is very, very interesting. Moving on, after Hangman, we're going to play some new music from Seed of Pain. They got a promo out on Plead Your Case Records. It's for free. Download that shit. It has a couple covers. Very interesting. Got some covers from Mean Streak and Gorilla Biscuits, and that Gorilla Biscuits, I gotta listen to it, give it some more fuller listen. They did New Direction, but the intro to New Direction was like got that horn section. It has what seems to be a machine gun, but in my mind, it kind of just sounds like a bad muffler or an engine puttering. Maybe that's just me. But we're going to play the first track back again, and then we're going to get to Band Brawl and all the other shit. You're listening to Deadair, 2 hours of hardcore radio. We'll be back.
They destroy everything I hold true. Say what you will and try to tie my hands and watch me fall. But no, I will never break. Witness the uprise again. I am the one who will rectify. That's what time I can't close my eyes. I won't break down or break my stride. I do it for the few by my side. You will witness the uprise. But you won't be laughing, not for long. I won't rest till I see an end to this game you played for so long. Push me aside for the last time. Tie my hands. I'm the one who would testify. Hardcore is a way of life. It's really not for everyone. Weed out the weak, one by one. That's my time, I can't close my eyes. I won't break down or break my stride. I do it for the view by my side. You will witness the uprise. Now it's time for you to fall. One by one. Killing out the weak. One by one. Trying to turn my head. One by one. Waste of life you stole. One by one. And stay the fuck out.
vegan and vegetarian food options. Located on Pioneer Ave in Puyallup, Washington. Do your part to support vegan establishments in small towns. Check out Vigo_EATZ on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Band Brawl. Yep, cold and flu season. Don't worry, I fucking I wipe off the mics. I can't say that for the rest of the staff here at the radio station. But I do. So, Band Brawl, it's been a couple weeks, so I'll give you a brief rundown on what we do here. We take a band or records and put them up against each other. Normally, I like to just do like a band discog versus discog, the good, the bad, the ugly. A lot of people like to like, oh, this album. I want you to take their good and their bad and put it in verse it in what's your favorite for better, for worse. Even if there's some shit you don't like, if there's more shit you do like from the other band, you gotta make a decision. So sorry, I got distracted. There's a video to go along with the Stone Cold, so I'm just fucking seeing Stone Cold kicking some fucking ass. A couple weeks ago, we did Sinking Ships versus Final Fight, and for a moment, it was looking like Final Fight was going to be the winner. I saw a lot of specifically Pacific Northwest people take the side of Final Fight, which was very interesting to me. I just didn't see that from people. Like, there was just not a lot of talk from this band at all during the time of these two bands. I felt like maybe I was just alone because I just didn't have that many friends back then. I don't know. That might be why I didn't have anyone to talk to. I just had my fucking computer and my goddamn Last FM account. Anyway, Sinking Ships eventually did become the winner, but it was very interesting. Gave him a Final Fight gave a run for the money for quite a second, but then it Sinking Ships caught up and beat the fuck out of him. So, what can I say about Sinking Ships? I wish I got to see Final Fight. Never got to see that band live. Saw Sinking Ships. Fun seeing the songs performed. Could have. I mean, I can't blame a band with members who haven't probably played that much since they broke up. So, and that's kind of the same with like bands like Seaweed. Those are two bands that like they played the Rainfest pre-shows and they just the energy. I hoped for more, but it's not like I'm not those people. I can't. It is what it is. It's still cool that we still get to witness it. It's not like they play these songs for a living. People ask them to come and perform them, and they fucking did. Whether they were super fucking into it or not is I can't make them be into it. Anyway, so we're gonna play Auburn by Sinking Ships. Shout out to the city of Auburn, the Auburn Memos, KGRG-FM, Green River College, and that's about fucking it for Auburn. So We're going to play that track, and then we'll get to this week's matchup. This is Band Brawl.
We can't breathe. It's getting colder in the heart of this city. These are the reasons we have to leave. Take it in. This separation's so goddamn pretty. If we don't leave everything behind, this place is gonna be lost alone. This town is your heart. Yeah, it will rot you from the inside out. All this town in your heart. Yeah, it will rot you from the inside out. From the inside out. World's gone by the slow down the streets. A black hole leaving us empty on these abandoned streets. It was colder then. It was colder then. Well, fuck back then. All this down in your heart. Yeah, it will rot you from the inside out. All this down in your heart. Yeah, it will rot you from the inside out. This is the town where we just can't seem to live or leave. These open fields are an easy bed to lay down and die in. This small town looks like a cemetery skyline. Creeping taller, one shattered dream at a time. One shattered dream at a time. At a time. Coming back, I can feel the sickness as I breathe. The ashes of our broken dreams. We can't breathe. Everything is falling apart across the county line, and you can feel your heart start breaking. 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 Breaking.
All right, we're back. So this week, we're getting back into the fucking metal. Some big bands that you definitely know. And if you don't, fucking listen to them. I mean, unless you're just straight up afraid of, or too afraid, or you just don't fucking like super amounts of metal in your hardcore, or are you just like, you want punk, you might not fuck with this. It's very possible. So I'm sure some of the punk hardcore heads that listen to this show are like, you already play too much fucking metal. And I'm like, well, make some more fucking punk hardcore and send it to my ass. Deadair Hardcore Radio. Actually, no, my bad. DeadAirNWCZ@gmail.com. DeadAirNWCZ@gmail.com. Send me that shit. I'll listen to it, and if it's good, I'll play it. Just a lot of fucking metal and hardcore out there. And so this week, both bands from the state of New York. We got from Newburgh, New York, we got All Out War. Haven't been listening to them. You're living under a rock. Definitely has been fucking consistently rocking since 1991. I don't care to look at what a fucking Wikipedia says because we all know about that in the fact checking, but it says their first show, a riot broke out, and that's dope. And then it says police intervening. It's like a riot broke out. Interesting. Police intervening. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Fuck that. Of course, police are going to intervene on some bullshit. Dope though. For those who were crucified, one of my favorite metal and hardcore records of all time. Definitely a metal / hardcore band, and not the other way around. Especially in the vocals. First band I really saw that metal and hardcore kind of bouncy groove. First time I kind of heard that, and it opened my fucking eyes and ears. They've been consistently making records. They did have a break between 2004 and 2006. They have a new record out, Crawl Among the Filth. Just came out not too fucking long ago. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways, for me, nothing beats For Those Who Are Crucified. They have some good shit in their records, and they like I said, they still fucking do it. So let's go over to Marauder. Definitely has, you can tell in the vocals, a very more New York hardcore, like hard but not heavy vocals, like not fucking straight up metal. You can distinguish that there is some hardcore influence in what's going on. Not that you can't with All Out War, but you can definitely hear the more like biohazardy, more street style vocals on Marauder than the metal style versus the metal style vocals of All Out War, which is probably why All Out War has probably a wider reach to the metal realm. Both do, but I think in my mind, I'm seeing All Out War reaching out and being more consistent in putting out records too. Because with discography for Marauder, it ends with God Is I in 2009. They have gone on tours. They're currently going to be going out on a tour and being in the Northwest in this month with Leeway. So they're playing shows. They just haven't been consistently putting out records and putting that type of their name out in that way. So, but it's definitely another one that's a little bit hard for me because I both love a lot of the song Master Killer. All the songs make me they always hit me some type of way. So anyway, so All Out War versus Marauder. We'll take it to the facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio. We'll have it posted this Saturday, and check it and post your opinion, and then we'll talk about it the following week. All right, we're going to play All Out War Burning Season and Marauder Mirror Shows Black, and then we're going to get to our interview with Mr. Robbie from Mind Power. We'll be back. You'll listen to Deadair 2 Hours Hardcore Radio.
Within you
All right, here's an interview I did with Bob from Mind Power yesterday at the crib. Enjoy.
I'm sorry that you hear a dog in the background. I'm just in my backyard, and there's just this annoying dog. It does not stop barking. And I love dogs so much, but man, this dog, I don't know, maybe needs a pet, a hug, a treat.
I feel the same. I feel the same way. I have a dog. There's a dog in our apartment. Like, I almost wanted to like go across my apartment buildings and beat the shit out of someone because it sounds like the dog's getting abused. Because I thought the dog was getting abused. So like, I did an interview like a couple weeks ago, and I heard him, and I was like, I told the band, I was like, I need to stop real quick. And I asked my girlfriend, like, what the fuck's going on? And apparently it's just an infant dog. It's just a young dog just yapping, and it gets excited by everything outside. So it is what it is. Also, probably during the middle of this, my kid's getting home, and she'll probably come in for like 2 seconds. So don't be so you might. I have 9 nephews, so I just decided to hit record because I like to just fucking talk, have a good conversation. But we're on the line with Rob. Do you like to be called Rob or Robert? It's what do you prefer?
I mean, Robert's my proper. A lot of my friends call me Bob. So
okay, well, I like Bob. I had a friend named Robbie. So every time, but he's like my best friend. So anytime his mom was around, he Robert was the name when he got in trouble. So I always think of Robert as like, I feel like anybody named Bob doesn't like to be called Robert.
Yeah, no, it's I'm an easygoing guy, so it doesn't really bother me what you call me. You know, I mean, I have some people that call me Rob. I have some people that call me Bob. Other various names, you know, but I mean, Bob's fine.
So you're pretty well known for your vocal efforts in A Life Once Lost, and you now have a project called Mind Power, which you're gonna have your fourth. You've done 4 EPs this year. You're gonna have your fourth one. You've done 3 EPs this year. You're gonna have your fourth one out this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about you. Let's tell me about your give me your origin story. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the music that you play and perform today.
I guess I was in high school. Actually, I was in middle school, probably. I started getting into more of the stuff like Rage Against the Machine, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, like Nirvana, Nine Inch Nails, and just these heavier bands. And I always knew there was something like heavier out there, you know, like Rage Against the Machine was my jam. Then you started hearing bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit, and they were okay, but I mean, I always had my niche that I always went back to. I was working at this place called Ultrasound, and this kid came in. This kid, who was like 18. I think I was like 15 or 16 at the time. So I'm just starting to I'm in high school right now. I meet this kid. This kid is playing Shelter for me, and he's taking me home, and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, this is Shelter, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is what I've been looking for. And he's like, yeah, you've never heard of these guys? And I'm like, no, I've never heard of these guys. And then he puts in Slam Black Church, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And he tells me, you know, and I'm like freaking out because I've never heard music like this. I've never was exposed to this. All I ever heard was on the radio. You know, I didn't understand what crate digging was. I didn't understand, you know, like what mixtapes were, and that was that. And here I am, and all of a sudden I start finding all these bands, and it just kind of developed from there. I always had a fascination when I was going to shows when I was younger that I wanted to do my own because I saw how they were being done, and I was just so curious about it, you know. And then the first show I booked is Boy Sets Fire, State to Day, Reach the Sky. A friend of mine, this kid Ian from Jersey, he sang in his band Blue Sky Spade. That was one of my first early hardcore bands. Listening to them. Another band, Trading Places, a buddy of mine, Todd, who lives probably a couple towns over. He's actually the fire chief of their township, Bristol. But anyway, and then from there, it just a slow progression, hardcore, and it got heavier, faster and faster. And then I heard Meshuggah. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then from there, it just kind of evolved, you know. Started listening to crazy world music, krautrock, and that Japanese psych scene over there. And dude, there's so many bands in this fucking world that it's ridiculous that all I was doing was listening to the bands I wanted to listen to, and I wasn't branching out past that. I've just opened up my avenue for being able to approach a song and find rhythms that aren't necessarily common, you know, in songs, where I can find a rhythm just based off of, you know, other things that I listen to, anything from, you know, hip hop to funk to, you know, a krautrock, and just finding these fucking weird rhythms within the music that are kind of layered in there, but they fit so perfectly. You know, so it's definitely my expansion of music and just the experimentation that I took coming to music. But I'll never forget my roots and where I came from. You know, there's some of my favorite bands just growing up within that scene. You know, there's so much in Philadelphia that Philadelphia had to offer. I met a lot of amazing people, and there's still a lot of amazing people doing things and bringing this music to the city. You know, they do too much, and it's amazing what they do.
Well, discovering your band, it's the same way. Cause I grew up in a small town. There's no record stores. So about the time around when social media was actually pulling all these bands, the places to find cool bands. I was before social media. I was afraid to branch out because of to not look like a weird, I guess weird in front of my friends. And then I listened to I don't give a shit. All this stuff is great. And I found your band among a ton of fucking compilations with bands like God Forbid and stuff like that. And it just I guess it just, that was my around the time that your band that Life Once Lost started was around the time I really began my musical journey. So that's pretty cool.
No, it's the way it's always wonderful getting into it, and then once you're in it, it's so fucking wormhole, man. If you're into the music, you just want to dig and dig and dig and dig. You know, I mean, I became content. Right now, I've just been more focused on things that I enjoy at this point in my life.
Absolutely.
I mean, I could still be doing a lot of more digging than what I did because I'm sure it's way more accessible now, and I could, you know, just really find the things that I really, really want to dive in on. But like I said, I got a comfortable amount of bands in my dome that I'm cozy with listening to. So.
So I don't know how many times you've been asked this question, but how did you specifically how did you develop your style of vocals?
I don't know. I mean, I'll say that I kind of always wanted to be a singer from going to shows. I love the way that you focused in on what he was doing. You know, it was just unreal. So what I would do is I would take some of my favorite bands and I would sing along to them. So I would develop these like a voice and I would literally, like in my house, a house of, I guess there was like 7 people living here at the time, and I would just blast like For the Love of Humanity the Devil, that record. I would blast Coalesce, Functioning on Impatience, and Dillinger Escape Plan, 43% Burn, Converge, Petitioning the Empty Sky, Burn the Priest, you know, and these bands, and I would just play them, and I would learn their lyrics, and I would sing along to it, and I would scream at my stereo, and I shit you not, I would just scream at it, you know, and then about the time I was like 19 years old, maybe like close to my 20s, I booked my first show. That was the show I told you about earlier. After the show, I met this kid, Vadim. Actually, I met him going to an Ink and Dagger show at the Stalag 13 in Philadelphia. Vadim was the original guitar player of A Life Once Lost, along with Doug Sabalik, who is now in, I want to say, it's Ecstatic Vision. Rich Arnold was the bass player, and this kid, TJ DeBloy, who went on to play in all these like area bands. Sick fucking drummer. Rich is an awesome kid. An adult now, I should say. But they had this band, and their singer didn't show up to a bunch of practices. They were worried. They were like, "Yo, you're going to this show tonight, right?" And I was like, "Yeah. I think A Life Once Lost, this was their first show they're playing, and they're playing with like This Day Forward and Fire Down Below is my buddy BJ's band, and it was in where was that? It'll come to me. It was the school that his mom worked at, and he was able to rent out this downstairs like kitchen auditorium looking thing. So they hit me up like 3-4 hours before the show. They're like, "Yo, singer didn't show up to practice. Do you want to play the set?" And I'm like, yeah, I'll try, you know. And I had no idea what I was doing, dude. No idea. Just grabbed the microphone and I started belting and screaming. And I'm just like freaking out. And then that was it. That was practice. Practice was like 30, 45, maybe an hour long. And then here we go. We're on our way to the show. Lansdowne. Not Lansdale, but Lansdowne Friend School was what the place is called. So we're driving down. I'm driving down with Doug. I'm playing him like Creation's Crucifixion. I'm playing him Fate of Icarus. I'm playing him all these Discordant Axis. I'm starting Enemy Soil. I'm starting to get into His Heroes Gone. Fuck. I'm starting to get into all these like fucking really like dirty, crusty, fast bands at the time. So we go down there. I fucking play them all these tunes, and we play the show. And within the first like 30 seconds of the song, I just fucking jumped up in the air, screaming my face off, took the microphone and just slammed it into the ground like I was stabbing somebody. And the microphone smashed in like a fucking 100 pieces. So it's all over the place. And I just proceed to go on screaming and rolling on the floor. It was me letting out all this fucking crazy shit that was going on in my fucking head at the time. And the first time I was ever to express it. You know, tried talking to people and they just don't want to listen to you. They say they're listening and they say they care, but I mean, are they really all there? It's hard to say. But that was my first time expressing anything. That's how everything kind of fucking created. From there, it was just a fucking, you know, a ball just fucking building and building. You know, just rolling down a fucking hill like an avalanche. And I mean, A Life Once Lost just took the fuck off. You know, it was incredible. You know, we definitely had a lot of really talented people play with us. Robert Carpenter, Nick Frasca, Justin Graves. Justin Graves is probably one of the sickest drummers I've ever played with in my life. And the kid's just unreal. He has that band Vexus now with Bobby C. And Nick has a bunch of children. He's in local 420 Steam Fitters Union out of Philly. So everyone does their thing now. But man, it was a wild ride to get here.
So like when you did that like first show, or like that first like practice, was when the rest of the band heard you, were they like, "Oh, this is sick," or were they like, "Oh, that'll do"?
I don't know. You gotta ask them. I think. I mean, after the show, we walked and we got some food, And as we were walking back, they asked me if I wanted to play in the band. So I'm assuming because of maybe my freak out, they were into it or something. I don't know.
Whatever.
But it's just, it's wild. It's wild. It's wild to think about it. You know, like, it was just crazy. It's insane that that the fate of my life ended up the way that it did. You know, meeting all these people, you know, doing what I did with shows and fucking up the way I did. You know, it's just brought me to the point that I am now.
I guess.
Wild ride.
Yeah, I guess the original question just was asked just because I count your vocal stylings very unique and recognizable, such as bands like Converge and Zayo, both versions of it. Like Lamb of God.
Very nice.
Like I definitely like because there's a lot to it, and it's like there's a lot of layers to the style of vocals that you do in this band and in both bands. And it definitely fucking comes out in Q4. So let's talk about Mind Power. How did this shit get started?
It took time. Mike, I'm going to refer to them as their nicknames because when they listen to this, they'll laugh at it. So Gregory, the drummer, he hit me up once, and I said no. He hit me up a second time. I said no. And then something happened, and then I hit him up. This is the third time. And he was like, yeah, no, we haven't done anything with it. And I'm like, cool. I'd like to come down. All right, I should say I'd like to come up and maybe like track a song or two. Maybe we can go from there and see if you guys like it or not. And then we tracked 2 early songs. I forget which ones they were, to be honest. But anyway, then that's kind of where that started. You know, just grew from there. Very, very nice. Very nice growth.
So you had an original release, and then you started, and then this year you had you have the 3 EPs. You're gonna have the 4th. Where did that idea come from?
I was driving up to Wilkes-Barre, and I came up with the idea to approach releasing music a different way. To release it more in the vein of how hip-hop artists do singles. Metal bands, hardcore bands, we all do albums, we all do EPs, we all do these things, and we just kind of go about doing shit. But no one's ever really approached it doing it quarterly, you know, trying to keep the name kind of relevant within a year. Just reapproaching how you put a full-length record out. But I approached the dudes, and I'm like, yo, listen, I want to do 4-song EPs. I want to release them quarterly throughout 2019. First one coming out, you know, January 1st, April 2nd, July 3rd, October 4th. Followed by basically a full-length release, which will be available digitally, and vinyl will probably be available in 2020. So they kind of bid on the idea, and we just kind of took it from there.
Wait, so does the Q stand for quarter? What does the Q stand for? Quarterly. That's what okay, cool. That's what I thought. That's what, like, I just made that connection when you were saying that. I don't.
Yeah, no, it has no relevance to anything. It was just I was trying to come up with a concept of an album name that could be incorporated amongst the 4 releases, but I didn't want it to sound like a run-on sentence. So basically, what we did is, you know, we're mixing down at Q1. We're getting all the artwork together, and Gregory keeps asking me, he's like, yeah, man, what are we going to name this? I'm just like, just name it Q1. You know, it's Q1, we'll do Q2, Q3, Q4, and then the final one we'll do, we'll do, you know, a real like name. You know, maybe in parentheses like a Q series or something like that. But the idea kind of just came about, and it just kind of worked.
And let's just talk a little bit about just the stylings of the band, because definitely as far you mentioned Meshuggah a little bit. I can definitely hear a lot of that shit. It's in my mind, it's definitely a lot heavier than A Life Once Lost. What specifically has like and if you know, since what specifically kind of drives the influence for this project?
It's a pretty open net thing. The guitar player, Banana Man, and then you have other guitar player, Troop, and then you have the bass player, who we call him the Whip. So, but Banana Man writes a lot of the stuff. Troop writes a lot. Whip is just kind of there to drink all your beer that you bring to practice.
Fair.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, we'll come up with a riff idea. They kind of branch off of that. Banana Man's been doing a lot of writing. Gregory actually does a lot of writing with guitar. Wrote a lot of riffs for the last two releases, and it's kind of I want to say it's a collective thing. You know, I throw ideas at them. I'll see if it sticks. They're the actually first band I've ever talked to, or I've not talked to, but I've been in a band with that actually listened to some of my ideas, which is nice. And yeah, we just kind of do it that way. You know, I mean, they write everything, they give it to me. I mean, I'll listen to it a few times, and then I'll write. And then I'll write a bunch of pieces, and then I just go through and I see what fits, what's strong. You know, I do a lot of like cutting out of like lines and whatnot. Like, I only want to really deliver the strongest of lines that I can. Take a lot of time just like focusing on like certain rhythms, certain ways to approach a song, strong accents and whatnot. You know, I definitely approach singing now differently than what I did with A Life Once Lost. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from working with Randy Blythe and with Eddie Wall and Rob Caggiano. And now taking, and Melissa Cross, I'm sorry, and to take all that, what I've learned, and bring it here now, it's very nice. I work with a good engineer, AJ Viana. So it's good, man. It's good. It's fucking everything is very nice right now.
I like how we did this interview. It's like almost like a real post listening party, because you let me listen to Q4 all the way through, and before we started this, and as far as the vocals, like that the first track, the vocals, like for this last EP, the vocals really drive for me. Like they really like caught my attention. For the last one, it was just like it was like the thing that got me was for Q3 was like the kind of Meshuggah style, just heaviness through and through the whole, like all the way through for me. But this one,
yeah,
I really liked.
Heavy, very thick, very pissed.
Yeah, what I really liked about this, it was just I think just for this last one, the vocals really bring it home. Really bring it home. That until the end.
Yeah. Thank you. I sang this like this was my last record that I was ever going to record.
It comes out, dude. It really. I like it. It sounds like you put everything into it. Like it's gonna be a really interesting listen. From start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to round up. I wanted to sum up everything that I was talking about within the Q series. The whole series has been just primarily lyrically about, you know, losing my father, you destroying this fucking person's life. And just other stuff, fucking shit that just happened to me. I needed to vent. Like I said, I approached this whole session like this was the last record that I was ever going to record. Just I had that in my mind for some weird reason.
Do you think this is going to be the last thing you ever record?
I mean, no.
Okay.
No, but I think it was just the mindset. It was the week. It was that week of recording all these songs. It was my mindset. It was like the lyrics themselves, and I was kind of living it for that, like that week, for some weird reason. I was just living this, like this dread, like I just didn't know what was going to happen the next day. Didn't know what was going to happen with my next step. That's how I attacked that record. I had to attack it. There was no way else around it.
Yeah. Well, is there a specific, what would you specifically want, like, listeners to get? Is there a separate vibe that you want people to get out of it, like, from the listening to the separate EPs versus listening to it all together?
I mean, we're eventually going to release like the full Q series on YouTube. I think we're going to do it probably within a month's time, maybe two, just to kind of revamp everything. But the concept was to walk through like a life, like a fucked up life. So it's me walking, and you hear the gradual progression of like music and how like goes from like the hardcore metal to like more of a droney like tones to it, into just this heavy pissed sounding thing, into this emotional almost like downfall. It just flows. The entire record just flows. That was the entire concept and idea of it, was to make it flow. Lyrically, it's everywhere within the last, 3 to 5 years of my life. And it's just been that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the way I'm placing it in my mind, it's separate, yet it's all together. Like it's all everything has like the EPs. All three have some different things going on, and then, but it'll be all like once you listen to it, it all becomes one. It's it's an interesting thing to think about.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we had the ideas going throughout, what we wanted to try to, how do we wanted to approach this, and the maturity that we grew within that year with writing, it's fucking amazing, it's really, honestly, it's amazing to be able to pump out what we just pumped out, to grow as we grew, and to, really finish on this unbelievably high note,
And for the future, like, so you talked about kind of like putting out music in this format. Do you think this is something you are going to do again, or you guys are going to regroup and think of a new approach?
Well, I think our main focus right now is hopefully by like the end of November, beginning of December, we can actually start playing and getting out and start playing some shows. Perform this a little bit, and honestly, we haven't even really thought about any kind of future relationship. I think the main goal right now is to, really lock down, hone in on a set that we're happy with, 8, 9, 10 songs, something like that, and just start playing and just see how people react to it. We can kind of gauge it from there, like where everyone's heads are at. Is this where we want to take it? Do we want to move to the next level? day band as much as we were planned out with this thing, but we are a day by day band. You know, we live it in the now.
And have you done many shows with this project yet?
I'm going to say about 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Okay.
Yeah. No, this whole year was spent primarily on writing this 16-song album.
So okay. So for get this out, then come the shows.
Yeah. Let's get everything together. Give ourselves time. Troop is expecting Baby Girl in the end of October. And the other 4 gentlemen are there. Everyone's trying to learn the songs. We're trying to get, like I said, we're just trying to get a set together. So by hopefully the beginning of December, maybe we can go out and we can play a couple shows before the new year. And then come the new year, maybe we'll start doing a little bit more. You know, we all have lives, we all have families, we all have real jobs, and not to say that our jobs are more important than any other band dude's job. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, you know, we have jobs that we have commitments to, that taking time off is going to have to be, you know, one of those things very carefully picked. So.
Yeah, work is work. It sucks, but...
Work is work, and yeah, I turned 40 last Wednesday. I'll say that I initially grew up when I was 38 on May 19th, when my father passed, and that's when I grew up. Before that, I was just I was a train wreck, you know, and now I'm a little bit more focused, a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more, I know where I want to kind of take my life in this slow progression. I'm not trying to do it instantaneously. I want to enjoy this ride.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Anything else you want to let us know about this project and these songs, the upcoming EP and this whole EP collective?
We have a video out right now called "Put Out This Fire," available on YouTube. It's with our friend Chris Margaret, band Time, drummer of Kill Verona and Shark Attack. We filmed it with Kurt Fowles of Serious Cinema, and video dropped yesterday. We've been getting a lot of really positive feedback from that. Q4 is out on Friday. This is our final installation on the Q series. This is an emotional train ride, to say the least. We have guests from Mike Shaw, This Day Forward, on our first track there. Mike Schleibaum and Mike McKenzie, better known as Gunface from the Red Chord days, now plays Wear Your Wounds. Mike Schleibaum in Darkest Hour and Be Well. Yeah, man. We're content. We're happy. We're taking this slow. We'll grow with you. I'm very happy. Thank you very much, Trevor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're going to get back to the music. Listen to Deadair, 2 Hours of Hardcore Radio.
Shine!
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Deadair Moshbot telling you to check out the brand new Deadair website now. Go to deadairhardcoreradio.com for all podcasted shows as well as news, reviews, and content you can't get anywhere else. Go now or feel the wrath of my cold, hard robotic legs spin kicking you straight in the face.
are the one. Going down the rabbit hole. Try to renew the scheme. So desperate. Keep mouth if you wanna come home. It's very simple, motherfucker, don't ever think it's a joke. Cause if you cross the line, make sure you bring the heat to get smoked, a nigga. We used to rock, now rock alone. Word of mouth and all the truth, you just play a role. Changing up on everyone until you get your own. You'll never be the realest, you can try but never will. And that's the same cause you the only one that is to blame. Ain't nobody fucking worried cause I should be lame. Keep on with it, but a hater always is the same. Press a dollar on that pocket, you resist the claim. So don't cross me. 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 Yeah, this is rock music, motherfucker. The earth was gone, we brought the storm. The whole world was at peace, and we brought it on. We set the fire, put out the flame. This is not our world to take. So bad, blood destruction. One life but no instruction. Blast to how we fix ourselves.
All right, finishing up episode 56. Turn my mic down a little bit. Hot. It's hot. Shout out to Robert. I guess I keep going because I keep doing that because I miss my best friend Robbie. Hopefully I get to see him sometime before I fucking die. Haven't seen him in a hot minute. He lives down in fucking Beaverton. Not Beaverton. He lives somewhere far away. Some little fucking shithole town. No offense, Robbie. Mind Power's dope. Listen, they have a fourth EP called Q4 coming out this week. Or if you're listening to this a little later, it's out. Listen to it. Listen to all the shit. All as a whole. After that interview, we played Thin Skin from Q1 featuring Rob Fusco of One King Down and Most Precious Blood. Then we played Put Out This Fire by from Q3. They have a video that they just came out with this week. And then we played, finished that with a Life Once Lost Vulture. Then we get to our big ass block of music, of course. And what was I gonna say about that? We started the big block of music with new music from Candy, Super Stare. They have a 2-song self-released little promo. They have a they are on tour with Rotting Out, Stick to Your Guns, Knocked Loose, See You Space Cowboy. So go to that fucking tour. If you're a Northwest listener, they'll be here within a week or two. Follow that with is definitely a heavy show, so I wanted to get some chiller hardcore punk, hardcore adjacent style music, and played Stages of Faith, their song Hex. Definitely a band that would seem like kind of like a band that would have been around in the early 90s Seaweed-esque era. Definitely I feel like there is some Seaweed influence on this band. I really enjoy the vocals, really clean, really unique for this style, and I really think it's something special. So check out their new record, Delside. Quality Control. It's on Quality Control HQ. Probably that's run out of London. I'm not sure where else. So just check out Stages of Faith. Then we go to Seattle for the band City of Industry. They have a new release that came out the end of September titled Conspire, Conspire, Conspire. We played Animal Farm. Some crusty, some mid-2000s style hardcore. Kind of reminds me of HopeCon versus Modern Life is War. So it has some melodic. Has some straight up darker hardcore in there too. A little bit of crusty. So check it out. A band that I haven't seen really play around Seattle too much, but they got some upcoming shows in the Pacific Northwest for the month of October, so check it out. Following that, on Pure Noise Records, we have Take Offense, played Keep an Eye Out, self-title. It's the title track off the record. They're coming out on Pure Noise the middle of this month. Some people said that it's a weird move for them to go on Pure Noise, and that Take Offense hasn't done anything in a while, but I feel like everyone kind of forgot that they put out a pretty decent EP on Flat Spot just a year ago. So excited to hear this. I do want to do a Pure Noise episode and just talk about the influence it's having on current hardcore today, and we'll definitely get in on that. So following that, we got Flagbearer from Alabama. My boss is calling me, and I'm going to have to call him back because I'm doing my goddamn show. So, Mourned by Few, LP promo. Heavier than what they had before. It's definitely it's going on that super heavy kind of creeping death gate creeper kind of vibe, going towards that, where it's interesting where the lines are for the hardcore, but you can definitely still tell compared to other bands like Gate Creeper, Creeping Death, and whatnot, that it is a hardcore band, because they definitely still have those hardcore parts. This two song LP promo is for LP coming out on Upstate Records. Upstate, of course. Going into Pure Noise again. Unity TX. Interesting band. Not what I expected when I listened to this. Didn't give them a full listen until their latest LP on Pure Noise titled Mad Boy. So something interesting. A hip hop metal hybrid, or as Bowling for Soup would like to put it, rap metal. So what I have to say about this, I think that it sounds like it's E-Town Concrete influence, but it's hard to tell if there's an E-Town influence there. It's very interesting to me, just because it's easy to play some metal riffs and then rap over it. So I'm wondering if this band is inspired by E-Town. So listen to it. Listen to Mad Boy. Very interesting hybrid of modern trap with, like I said, that rap metal style. Very E-Town. There is some hardcore. There's some metalcore in there, but it's something of its own. So moving on, we have Cast Out by Prying Free from Seattle. This is their third effort of recording, so check it out. They've definitely progressed. They've been in the studio for KGRG when we were in Auburn a couple years back before we moved to Tacoma, and you can see the progression. Interesting. Like I said, a lot of Northwest Hardcore is so like separate, all playing their own shows, not playing with different genres, which is cool, but not playing together as much as I would like to see. So I believe they are playing a Northwest Hardcore show pretty soon. Hope to see more of that. Hope to see more of these bands getting together and then breaking out together. And then we're going to finish it with some. We're finishing the show with Renounced, Self-Inflicted. I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I fucking love it. I'm going to keep listening to this after the show. Beauty is a Destructive Angel is out now. I'm hoping to talk to this band really soon. Melodic, heavy. It hits in all the right fucking ways. Listen to this record. But unfortunately, we are out of fucking time. Until next week. Peace out. Check us out on the socials. Deadair Hardcore Radio. DeadairHardcoreRadio.com is the website. Facebook.com/DeadairHardcore Radio. And Dead Air NWCZ on both Instagram and Twitter. Peace the fuck out.
I promise you, it's okay to cry. Self-inflicted war.